Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are group 11 and we will present the material named Application of Semantics and Pragmatics. Our team have three members. First, there are Regina Cahyani. Second is Marsanda. And the third or the last, there are Ismi Awalia.
Okay, for the first material is about introduction of semantics and pragmatics. Semantics is the study of meaning in language. The goal is to understand how language encodes meaning, focus areas, word meaning, sentence meanings, and synonym. While pragmatics is the study of how context influences the interpretation of meaning. The goal is to understand how meaning is influenced by the speaker listener situation and cultural norms. Focus areas, contextual meaning, speaker intention, implicature, and dexis.
Okay, now I want to explain about application of semantics. So first, there are language teaching and learning. In language education, semantics helps students improve their vocabulary and reading comprehension by focusing on word meanings and relationships. One common technique is semantic mapping, where related words are grouped to show their connection. Example, words like big, huge, and enormous all mean large but differ in intensity. Understanding these differences helps learners choose the most appropriate word based on context. The second, there are lexicography and dictionary compilation. So in lexicography, or the process of making dictionaries, semantics helps define words and explain their synonyms, antonyms, and polysemy. For example, the word bank can refer to a river bank or a financial institution. These meanings are unrelated and must be clearly separated in dictionaries to avoid confusion. Okay, the third, there are natural language processing or NLP and artificial intelligence or AI. So, in semantics plays a key role in machine learning and AI by enabling systems to understand the meaning of words and sentences, not just match keywords. For example, a smart search engine doesn't just look for the word cat. When you search for how to take care of a pet, it understands that pet could mean a cat, dog, or other animals and shows relevant results. Okay, the last, there are translation and interpretation. So, in translation, semantics ensures that both the meaning and tone of the original text are preserved, even when no exact word exists in the target language. For example, if there is no direct translation for a cultural expression or idiom, the translator must find a way to convey the same meaning in a different form that the target audience will understand.
Moving on to the next material, applications of pragmatics. A. Language use in social contexts. Pragmatics is used in understanding how language is used in different social settings. People often say things indirectly, use politeness strategies, or imply meanings rather than stating them explicitly. Pragmatics help us understand speech acts, function of language, such as requesting, apologizing, and promising. For example, the question, "Can you pass the salt?" is not a query about ability, but a polite request. In language teaching, pragmatic competence is just as important as grammatical competence. Learners who can form correct sentences but do not understand how to use them appropriately in context may still fail to communicate effectively. B. Discourse analysis and conversation studies. Pragmatics is widely used in discourse analysis, where researchers study how meaning is constructed in spoken and written communication. This includes analyzing turn taking in conversation, implicator, which is what is suggested but not said, presupposition, what is assumed, and disease are context-dependent precursors like these, that, here, or now. For example, saying John stopped smoking presupposes that John smoked in the past. Pragmatic tools help uncover such layers of meaning in discourse. And then C, cross-cultural communication. In cross-cultural settings, differences in pragmatic norms can lead to miscommunication. What is considered polite or appropriate in one culture may be perceived as rude or confusing in another. Pragmatics plays a vital role in intercultural communication training by teaching learners how to interpret and produce context-appropriate language. For instance, in English, indirectness is often a marker of politeness. Would you mind helping me? While in other cultures, directness may be acceptable or expected. And then the last, clinical linguistics and language disorders. Pragmatic competence is often impaired in individuals with communication disorders such as autism spectrum disorder or ASD, traumatic brain injuries, or developmental language disorders. Speech language pathologies use pragmatic theories to assess patients' ability to use language socially and contextually. Intervention strategies may include teaching, turn-taking, understanding non-literal language, or recognizing social cues.
Okay, and the last material is about combined application of semantics and pragmatics. In here there are two files. The first is language testing and assessment. In language testing, especially in second language learning or proficiency tests like TOEFL, IELTS, or CEVR, it's not enough to only test grammar or vocabulary semantics. Effective communication also depends on a learner's pragmatics competence, their ability to use language appropriately in contexts. What's being tested? Semantic or grammatical accuracy, is the sentence well formed and meaningful? And then pragmatic appropriateness, is it suitable for the situation? Does it match the speaker's intention and social norms? For example, role-play task. Test takers might be asked to make a request politely, reverse an over, and apologize. This task assesses semantic knowledge, is correct words and structure, and then pragmatic use is socially and culturally appropriate response. Why this matters? Someone might know all the grammar rules but still sound awkward, rude, or unclear if they lack pragmatic awareness. And then the second is legal and political discourse. In legal and political context, every word choice matters, not just for its literal meaning, semantics, but for the implied message and strategic interpretation, pragmatics. Politicians and lawyers often choose words carefully to leave room for multiple interpretation, soften message, or avoid legal responsibility. For example, we will consider our options. In semantics, the statement means the option we will be thought about. And in pragmatics, the speaker might actually be delaying a decision, avoiding commitment, politely rejecting a proposal, and signaling the action may be taken without making promise. So why this matters in politics or courts, a value or strategic praise allows room for interpretation, avoids blame, or leaves legal openings.
So that's all from our team. Thank you and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.